Hey everyone, and welcome to another Minecraft Let's Play adventure. Today in Minecraft, we're going to be reviewing these awesome structure blocks. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go change it today. And I kind of made these little structure, what do you call it? Command blocks everywhere, just for this how-to world, just to make it easier so I don't have to go and type things because I'm lazy. Yeah. Anyway, so these awesome structure blocks, I showed them to you guys in the previous video. If you guys missed the previous video, it's going to be right over here on the right-hand side of your screen. I think I might be pointing in the wrong direction, but it's going to be on the right-hand side of your screen. You can click on the link there, and you can watch the previous video, which is, it goes over the 1.10, 1.10 snapshot for Minecraft for PC. Anyway, so we're going to be going over these structure blocks, which I showed previously, and they come off when you first request them, and you request them by typing in this request command. Let me see if it pops up right here. At the very bottom it says give and then your name and then Minecraft semicolon structure underscore block. So you can only request them. You cannot craft these blocks just like a command block, but you have to remember to type it in exactly like this, except for putting in your name, not mine. Yeah, so they come off as this data block, and then you can go into the data block right here, see, or you can give it a name. And what this data block does is it kind of stores entities and data and whatnot from the structures you're trying to copy. And that's what these structure blocks do, is they kind of like a world edit, like I stated before, they allow you to copy and paste structures and other things over and over and over again without having to rebuild them, which makes life a whole lot easier, dudes. This is really cool. So the blocks, you can change it to just by clicking on this little settings thing right here. So you can go from it starts off with a D, right, for data, and then it goes to save, where your save block is, and then L for load mode, when you load the block that you saved, and then corners, and I'll show you what those are in just a second. All right, so we have our save block, load block, and our corner block. So over here, I kind of have it already set up, and this is a save block here, and I made this little fountain, and I want to build the fountain again. I want to copy and I want to paste it right somewhere else. Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I have to give it the coordinates of where this block is, and it goes on the XYZ coordinates. 1 and 1 are going this direction, so the blocks are reading this way and this way. So if I were to tell it relative position 1 and then Z coordinate 1, it's going to give me a block in the opposite direction. And my structure is roughly a 7 by 7 by 7, I believe it is. Don't quote me. So I say save, and it creates this little like hitbox where the structure is. Now, obviously, my structure is not over here. It's on this side over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at a -7, so it shifts the block over on the other side, and that's where it kind of puts it around my fountain. And I think my fountain is actually only 5 tall, which is not a problem. I'm going here, and I'm gonna go make it only 5 in the Y direction, and that kind of encompasses the entire thing. So I can go in here. I'm gonna say save, and I want to reload this this fountain. I'm gonna put it like right over here. I'm gonna put it right in the ground again, and I'm gonna make this a load. And you can load it in with varying degrees. So you can move it 90 degrees at an angle from the original location you got it from. You can mirror it, so it'll flip it over on the opposite, flip the whole image over on the opposite side. The structure over the opposite way. You can do a 180, so it turns the thing 180 degrees, or 270 degrees, which is like 3/4 of a turn. So relative position, we're going to put it 1 to 1, so it's going to put it back towards me in this direction here, and I want it at 0 because that's where we want to place it, away from the actual load block. And then we're going to load in what we called it, which we didn't, I don't believe. So hold on. Done. Okay, I'm going to go back over here, and I believe I have to give this a name, otherwise it's not going to know what to load. So we're going to call it fountain. So we're going to save it as fountain. I think that looks right, yeah. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to load it as fountain as well. So we're going to put it 1 and 1, so it puts it 1 block away in either direction. We're going to load fountain. And we're going to say show bounding box is on, and it's going to say load. And what it does really nice is it shows you where you're going to place it before you actually place it, so you don't goof up. which is kind of nice. And it's going to put it like right over here, but I want to kind of put it in the same direction. So I'm going to put it at -7 as well. I'm going to say done, and it's going to move it over in that basic same direction the fountain was in the first place. And then I'm going to say load again, and it loaded it, and that's it. And it puts it right in the ground wherever you wanted it. And to get rid of this little hitbox, all you have to do is break the little block there, and you can put sand back in the hole. And there you go. That's really simple. It's kind of cool, and it makes life a lot easier. And you can keep this saved like in a corner of your world, and you can keep on copying, pasting wherever you need to do, wherever you want it to be. And okay, so this is another one here. We can do the same thing with this one. We can say this one is only 3 wide, so it's going to say -3, and we're going to say 1 on this, and the Z is going to be a 0. The structure size is 3 wide. It's only 2 tall, and it's a 3 in the other direction as well. And we're going to call this one beacon, because it's a beacon. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to say save, and it kind of puts a box around it, but I don't know why. Oh, I see what, because my beacon is in the ground. I want to actually raise this up 1 and say done now. Now it's actually encompassing the beacon itself, because I put the save block in the ground. If it was above ground, that's where it's going to kind of position it. So we're going to go and take our data block again over here, and we're going to place it we'll place it right over here, and we're going to make it a load, and we're going to, let's turn it, that doesn't matter because it's a symmetrical shape, so you're not going to really be able to notice, but we're going to go ahead and place it 1, and we'll do 1, it doesn't matter on this portion here, and we'll do 0 on this, because this time we place the load block above ground, so that way it won't matter that it's at 1 or not. And we're going to load in beacon, and you can turn entities and on and off, entities being any animals or creatures and whatnot. So they're off right now because there aren't any entities right now. So I'm going to say load, and it's going to show me roughly where it's going to place it. And we're going to say load, and there we go. That's it. So we got our beacon spawns right in, and you can go and replicate stuff like this over and over again. Okay, so this is with easy, simple shapes, but what about with stuff that gets a little more complicated and you don't want to count the number of spaces you want to do? So what you could simply do is you can do corners, and this is where the corners thing comes into play. You can basically place a block in the bottom here, and you're going to change it to C for a corner, and we're going to call this house. So simple enough, we're going to call it house, and we're going to say done. So that's one corner of the house, and then I put a block up here at the top other corner, so it'll create its little shape here, and we're going to go back to C again, and we're going to say house, and it's going to say done. So we've created a box basically with these 2 corners, the bottom left corner and the top right corner, or vice versa. It really doesn't matter as long as you have 2 opposite kitty corners posted. So we're going to go to save, and we're going to say detect, but we need to give it a name. So let's give it house, and we're just going to say detect. So this way we don't have to know the actual shape, the size, the location, anything along those lines. As long as both corners are named exactly the same and the structure name is labeled the same, we say detect, and what it's going to do is, ta-da, it's going to find your box. It's going to create that hitbox for you. I keep calling it a hitbox because it kind of looks like a hitbox, but it's really just like a bordering box where it's saving all your data, like a chunk or whatnot. Again, this is a lot like World Edit, where it's copy paste, but it's a lot simpler, and it's a vanilla. I mean, how awesome could it, how much awesomer could it be, you know? So okay, we're gonna say save again, and we're gonna go and we're gonna put it, let's go put it, okay, so before I place this house, I'm going to show you guys what this thing does. These are void structures. So if I go to void structures and I walk into this house here, I don't think they're on. Hold on a second. Let's see. Show invisible blocks. Invisible blocks are basically air blocks, right? So when it comes to this, and we already have it saved, it should show. Wait, why isn't it showing it? show invisible blocks and save. Okay, there we go. So it shows you all the air blocks. All these air blocks are going to be voided spaces that basically will not render anything. So if you put this house in the ground, deep in the ground, it's going to create like a big hole and then the house inside the hole. If you put it into the side of the mountain, it'll just bury the house in the mountain, but you'll be able to see the whole house and no rock or anything will be around it. Now, if you take this void block and you click on these blocks here, what it does is it removes the air block and it creates space that other things, other structures that you haven't quite decided that you want to get rid of, like if you want to do like a cave or a cavern, or you want to bury some kind of treasure or something and you want dirt all around it, or sand or rock or whatever, you will remove these blocks. Or say you built a really cool structure and you just want to take something and build it over it. This is really tedious, by the way, to go through and do all these, but it's a lot easier than digging out a house, than placing blocks back into something. But I'm just kind of using this as an example to show you guys where everything is. So the hitbox, I'm noticing, is not the actual thing itself. It's right above it. So you got to click on the thing right above where it's at, like the block it's touching. Okay, I think that's about it for all the blocks inside the house. I'm not going to do any of them outside the house. Maybe like this one, just for the sake of doing it. But okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna save again because we changed what we just did, so we have to save it again. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back all the way over here, and I want to place this house over this fountain, or over this beacon, let's say. So we're gonna go over this beacon here. I'll break this block here, and I'm gonna put this house right about here, and I'm gonna tell it, well, I'm gonna tell it to load, obviously. I'm gonna tell it to load house, and where it's gonna be located is gonna be 1 and 1. I don't want it to be, and then we're gonna go -1 on the height of the house because it's above ground, and we have some of the flooring actually goes underground, I believe, where I have it set. So as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go -2 on it, and I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna turn it or anything like that, and I'm gonna leave the bounding box and say load. So I'm gonna show you where it's gonna load. So the house is gonna kind of go right over this beacon right here, and it's gonna probably eat into some of the beacon as well because of the bed and whatnot. I'm gonna click on here. I'm gonna say load. So the house, see how it kind of dug into the ground here? All those air blocks placed it where I told it to, and this beacon is still intact inside because we told it to have all this void inside, and the only thing that's gonna stay is that bed, I believe. Yeah, the bed stays because the bed was part of the house itself. You can move entities too. If I were to put the villager that I had in the other house, I had a villager egg in the other house. If I put him in there, you can turn entities on and it would copy the villager over as well. Now I did, over in that direction over there is another temple, another sand temple, and I already copied it, and I want to put it like here. So what I'm going to do is it's going to come up out of the ground quite a ways, so I'm going to kind of place it a ways down. Because it was the bottom of the temple is a bit low, so I'm going to change this to a load, and we're going to call it, I already saved it as temple. How about I spell temple correctly? Temple, and we're going to place it at 1 and 1, and 3 and 0 is fine, and then everything else is fine. We're going to say load, and you're going to see this crazy box where it's going to load in, and then I'm gonna go back down, and I'm going to click on load again, and there you go. So we went and copied this awesome temple that's way down there, and I don't have to build a single block of it. I just copied this entire thing and moved it over here. Now the only thing I didn't do is I didn't go deep enough to where I don't have, this isn't going to go very deep to the very, very bottom, where I could easily have gone lower. Now, the trick is you can only copy a 32 by 32 by 32 space, which is roughly 1 chunk, I believe. Let me see here. I can actually figure that out. Function F3G. I believe that's is it 1 chunk or 2 chunks? let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Okay, so it's 2 square chunks in height and in width, which is pretty big, that you can copy. So let me go ahead and turn this off again. So it's function F3G, and this is not a mod. This is actually part of 1.10 that was added in, that you can kind of look at. You can use it to turn on chunks, to turn off chunks, which is pretty helpful actually. Just proved so myself right there. Anyway, so again, you can use these air blocks. You can create void blocks. You can do all kinds of really cool stuff. We're probably going to build a really cool map using this, because that just made our lives a whole lot easier just now. Pretty straightforward. It's not difficult at all. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave the questions down in the comment section below, dudes. If you guys like this video, don't forget to smash that like button as hard as you can with your structure block. Yeah. And if you're at all new to our channel, dudes, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. It's greatly appreciated. It lets you guys know when we upload our daily video, or videos for that matter. So until next time, dudes, see ya!